Good afternoon to everybody. This is a meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is August the 4th of 2022. It is 6:01 and I'm calling this meeting to order. First item that we have is a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Hold on. Erasmo Villarreal,
Present.
Jorge Dominguez,
Present.
Mike Barron, Abraham Lugo, Tony Narvaez,
Present.
Yushin Wang,
Here.
Larry Dovalina,
Here.
Daniela Sadapaz,
Here.
and Ana Gabriela Villarreal.
Here.
For the record, you do have quorum.
I do know that Mr. Barron is running a few minutes late, and Mr. Lugo will no longer be on the commission. Just so that you know.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, the next item that we have is we do have a quorum, so Pledge of Allegiance, if everybody could please stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any citizens' comments?
Not yet, sir.
All right. Okay. Moving right into item number 5. 5A is amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 6.31 acres. This is located at 1000 East Hillside Road from B4 to B3. All right, who will make the presentation? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No vas a aceptar los minutes ni nada de la
There are no
pasada.
minutes on here.
You're not gonna,
There are
De la-
no minutes.
No?
no, porque we didn't have a quorum. The last one was a special meeting.
Ah, it was a special
There
meeting.
is no
That's
minutes.
right, that's right. I remember.
Okay, young lady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have an applicant, Enrique Rosa Maria Benavides Limited, and Edward Garza Engineer, the representative. We have property description, approximately 6.31 acres, located at 1000 East Hillside Road. The zone changes from a B4 to a B3. Proposed use is multifamily apartments. Letters sent is 29. We have 1 for, and we have an updated one of 5 against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. The proposed motion.
All right. I do have a question for the staff. Is this property platted?
No, sir, it's currently undergoing the planning process.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, sir.
This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of the zone change, in favor of the zone change.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Jed Brown with the Brownstone Group. We are the developer for this property. This is a development of apartments that is part of the 9% tax credit program. We were here approximately 4 weeks ago with a support resolution that we presented before you all when we were in for our preliminary plat. The development was unanimously supported by all 9 members, the mayor and all 8 members of city council back in November. I'm pleased to report that last Thursday, this property was awarded tax credits by TDHCA, came in first place in the region. Second place was the other tax credit property that has already come before you all for a change of zone and received their change of zone. We're here this evening seeking your support in that change of zone and to proceed on to city council here in a few weeks. I would be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
How many units are you proposing, more or less?
120?
And you're undergoing the planning process. You already have started the planning process?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the preliminary has already come to P and Z, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what I
We've already
understood from you?
received preliminary plat approval on this property.
Okay,
We're currently in design, Edward Garza for the record, we're currently in design to the one-stop shop.
okay.
Our schedule is to go final in November.
I just have one question. Hillside, the 2-lane road, we have 120 units coming in. Is there are you all proposing a right in, right out for this project?
There's actually, I have the site plan.
Or how are you gonna control traffic there? Because it's already pretty congested.
Right. Currently, we have reviewed the existing traffic counts in that area. The good news is that the current right-of-way and the current street configuration can support additional traffic. That's the good news. But in the plat, what we're proposing, there is a right-of-way dedication component included to widen the road. There's also, when this development was first developed by Dean Sanderson back in the day, he had several tracts of land in that area, and he developed a back road system, but the property line on our particular plat does not connect to that road system. So, yeah, so we're trying to look into that as a possibility, but we're in design currently, so that's what we're looking at. But, yeah, it wasn't quite set up perfect just for that to be, but, and on the south side, we're confined with a drainage channel and a sewer easement, so we don't have the way from the south. But we do have, the site plan does allow for secondary access for the fire department as well, as needed. And so all that's already in the site plan, and it's just a matter now of working through the traffic circulation with the traffic department.
Yeah, I would urge the city of Laredo,
Extend that road.
planning staff, the intersection of Springfield and Hillside, that you all work diligently in acquiring a right-handed turn lane. Because as these people come in, they need to take kids to school. And the school is up on Calle del Norte. By doing this, that would really alleviate the flow of traffic. You know, it would make it really move. The other way, we only have one lane. If you're going westbound and you're gonna make a right on Hillside, you're back at it. But if we can do that, and unfortunately, I talked to Keith Selman when he was here about seeing if we could acquire that property by the city to do a right-handed turn lane. This would facilitate a lot for your development.
The one going westbound.
Westbound, yeah. If we can do a right-handed turn movement there, that would really help this whole intersection. We've been working with the council member of the district on Springfield because of the high volumes of traffic and the queuing that was coming on. So I'm pretty familiar with all this area.
We'll certainly work with the traffic department on all those ideas.
I do think we do need to get the city to acquire and see if we can get that right-handed turn lane. It's critical for that whole intersection. And capacity, really capacity of Hillside too, because that would alleviate a lot of queuing.
We'll certainly donate the required right-of-way when it's our turn, when it's necessary to widen it.
Right.
That's covered in the plat.
Yeah, well, in your situation, I mean, this is really
Further.
away from you
Yes, sir.
guys. It's really a city issue that needs to be addressed immediately.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much for your comments. Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor? In favor? Anybody who wishes to speak against? Against? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Raquel Barrera, and I have lived on 4827 Patio Lane for the past 36 years. And there are some neighbors that are in favor of the apartments, if in fact, that's what they're gonna do. But we're against of the zoning change, because what if they don't do those buildings and they come out with something else? We have had very bad experiences in the past with 2 previous businesses. Very loud live music until 2 o'clock in the morning. We couldn't sleep. That was chaos. It was crisis. We couldn't sleep. And this is what, I'm here. There were other neighbors with me last time, but unfortunately.
Let me explain something that Mr. Brown just stated.
Okay.
Mr. Brown just stated that they got awarded tax credits to build the apartments.
Okay,
So the project is a go for apartments. I don't see anybody,
oh,
not going through with getting this award from the state to construct the apartments. I mean, things can happen. Things can happen, but right now, the way it is going, the approval has been given from the state to fund this project
for the apartments.
under tax credits. So it is right now apartments,
Oh, okay, well, that was our concern.
okay?
The zoning change.
Yeah.
And if that's the agreement, we're okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, once.
And I have some letters here that, some of the neighbors gave me.
You can turn them into the planning
Once
department.
a tax credit is issued, there is something called a lure attached to the property. And it says that for the next 40 years, it has to be an apartment, whatever was proposed.
It's also a down zone, so even if they were not to build the apartments, the new zoning will be less intense than what it is right now.
Yeah.
So you don't have anything to worry on that. And,
Yeah, that was our main
yeah,
concern.
it's a down zone.
That was our main
If I
concern.
can make a quick comment, Mr. Chairman. Just to assure you that though that project is going up, the fact that they're bringing the B4 to a B3,
Yes.
they're actually losing value in the property if they were to use it for something else. So what they're doing is good for the community, man. Okay.
But the
That was my
property value is going down? That's not what you're saying?
No,
No.
no. What happens is, the zoning that they had was what you call a B4.
Yes,
Under a B4 designation,
okay,
there are many more types of businesses that have and can create more noise, okay?
see,
By coming from a B4 to a B3,
okay,
it now has limited the type of businesses that can go in there. One of them being the construction of apartments. So is it a win for the neighborhood? Yes, it is. Okay?
that's
Like,
what,
that property could have a bar with the zoning that it has right now. Like, with the new zone change, it actually protects you to not have that unless they ask for a special permit. But it's a down zone, it's a protection to your community.
okay.
Okay?
That's the case.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
What are the wishes of the commission?
I move to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Novalina and a second by
Isha.
Ishan. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning lot 4, 6, and 8, block 575, Western Division, located at 2720 San Bernardo Avenue, from a B1 to a B3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, we have Tornado Bus Company owner, we have Marty Dew applicant representative. We have property location, it's lot 2, 4, 6, and 8, block 575 Western Division, located at 2720 San Bernardo Avenue. We have a zone change from a B1 to a B3. Proposed use is a hotel. Letter sent is 39, we have 1 for and none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
I do have a question before we open the public hearing. Half of the lot, half of the block is being zone B3, which is the western part of it.
Yes.
The eastern is remaining B4. Is there a rationale for that, or is the apartment, the hotel gonna be built on the western half of that block, or what is?
Can you put up the zoning? It's the eastern side of the block is all zoned currently B3, and the western side is zoned B1. So
Okay.
the western side is the one that's trying to.
Okay, but I
rezone.
guess then the next question that I would have is the whole block gonna be used to develop this project?
Yes, that's that's
Okay.
the intention.
All right, gotcha. Okay. This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of the zone change, in favor of the zone change?
Antes, ya lo cambiaron.
No, todavía está.
Anybody who, yes, sir, come on up to the podium.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Juan Vázquez, el dueño de esa propiedad y pues lógicamente estoy a favor de construir ese proyecto.
Okay. Gracias. Muchas
Gracias a
gracias.
todos.
Anybody else wish to speak in favor? In favor. Anybody who wishes to speak against? Against. If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing and support staff recommendation for the zone change.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Narvaez and a second by Commissioner Jorge Dominguez. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. Next item is amending the zoning map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 19.12 acres situated, portion 37. This property is located south of Soria Drive and east of US Highway 83 from R3 to R1A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant Javier Teanda, owner, Vimosa's two applicants, we have Portis Nance, engineer representative. Property location, approximately 19.12 acres, located south of Soria Drive and east of US Highway 83. Zone change from R3 to R1A. Proposed use is residential. Letter sent is 11, and none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor of the
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Wayne with Porras Engineering. We're in support of this zone change, and we're here to answer any questions that you all might have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody in the commission have any questions for Mr. Wayne Nance?
What is the status of that road that belongs to TxDOT,
Oh, the access road?
where all these properties lead to in traffic?
I believe that we in previous discussions, we talked about Obsidian, and that's south of this project. This one does not exit that. It exits Soria, which I think goes straight to the highway. I believe Obsidian is further to the south, south of the detention pond, if that's the one you're speaking about. Commissioner.
That's fine.
Any other questions?
Where's the nearest park for this area?
Oh.
And then,
Eladen Park, right across Soria.
Okay.
It's just north of it. Definitely less than half a mile,
Okay.
if a quarter mile.
Anybody else in the commission have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Nance.
Thank you.
Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of this project, zone change, I'm sorry, in favor of the zone change? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Lomelina moves to approve. Commissioner Daniela moves to second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against? Motion carries. The next item is,
D.
amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 6.1 acres?
61.
Huh?
Yeah, 61.11.
Sorry, 61.11, my mistake. This property is southwest of Crowbird Cove Court from AG to R1 single family to R1 single family, and R1 single family to R1 single family, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Khalidi Group, limited owner. We have Victor J.D. Hernandez as the applicant representative. Property location, approximately 61.11 acres, located south of La Bota Parkway and southwest of Cowboy Cove Court. Zone change, AG and R1 to R1. With proposed use as residential. Letter sent is 48. We have the inside, the 200 feet notice. We have none for. We have 3 against. Outside the 200 feet notice, we have none for, and we have an updated one of 16 against.
15.
16 property owners?
Yes, outside the 200 feet notice. Sorry. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Is it unplatted?
Is it on plan?
Yes, yes.
All right, this is a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Victor Linares. I'm not representing the development. I'm with Arriba SEC. We are in favor of the zone change. Just a little backtrack from the previous application. We did change the density into an R1. That was one of the principal concerns, and so the developer is willing to assist into that change. And I'm here for any questions.
I do have a question. I think the biggest concern this commission has is the high volume of traffic on the Mines Road. So is your proposal to, this subject is 61 acres, so if you go 5 lots per acre density, that's about 300 lots. So that's 300 lots plus or minus, you know? And I think the commission's concern is, okay, that's a lot more traffic generation going into the Mines Road. I think this commission would probably feel easier if we maybe, and this is just a suggestion, if you do a PUD, because you're right next to a PUD, what that does is it brings to this commission simultaneously your plat and your zone change request, so that this commission can see exactly what is gonna be developed and how you're proposing to get your traffic in and out.
I can add a quick comment if
Go
I may.
ahead.
I could have if I could have it zoomed out.
Creo que se mueve manual.
Just in case this is a rough master plan for this development, we're talking of 242 lots.
Okay?
The intent is to extend La Bota Parkway pretty much from the north end and master plan all the way to the south end. When it comes to this south boundary, there is a gap. The neighbors is Aquero subdivision. So right now, there's a gap between our subdivision to the last plat, which would be the school district at Aquero. And so what I could add is we've communicated, reached out to certain developers who would benefit from this road. And so the only thing it's one, just to recognize that it's just a property away from this property. And so it would just take us some time to really communicate and try to really get pretty much everybody in agreement to really get that extension of the road. But we are trying to do some due diligence and trying to see if other developers can pretty much participate and help extend this road.
Let me ask you this. I know you've probably taken a look at this, so the distance between your property and the gap that exists is about how much?
It's about, más o menos, it's 1,200,
About 1,200 linear feet?
correct?
And then from your property to Riverbank, what are we looking at, about a mile?
I wouldn't be.
I mean, because that is the
Just-
whole
that's-
idea, is to get this particular road back out to Riverbank to allow access
That's correct.
to the residents to come in and out from the World Trade Bridge access roads, which makes a lot of sense,
Pero
okay?
aquí no veo, por ejemplo, no veo dónde conecta Riverbank.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question. I'm asking because he's further from Riverbank right now.
Estás hacia
He's
adentro.
he's at Aquero, and Riverbank is still past Aquero. I don't know if you have does anybody have an aerial of this whole area?
This is just an aerial from your packet itself. What I could say is pretty much this segment where my pen is at, a little bit before, this is the
Por
UIC
ejemplo,
plat.
él quiere hacer de aquí a acá.
Just
Pretty
a
much
moment,
what-
Mr.
Esto, no?
Chairman. He's gonna get Google Maps up here.
All right. If we can get a Google map, we can then,
Is the property that we're asking about, is that unplatted as well?
The property, that you're asking
Not
about,
his, the one adjacent to Riverbank.
I'm not sure.
it's unplatted? Okay.
If anything, what does exist is the master plan. And so there is that one on the side of the Aquero and that Aquero extension.
So you still require public improvements
Yes, sir.
in the plat,
Yes,
and you make those requirements available before you bring the preliminary to us, right?
yes.
Yo tengo, a ver.
How wide is Vaquero Boulevard?
We're matching pretty much on both ends. It's about
In
90
the,
foot right
in
away.
the area that is developed at the bottom of the map?
This segment is just, it's a 90 foot right away. And then the Yaquero, Tabata Parkway also is 90 foot.
I would imagine it's Indian Sunset or something that's down there where Vaquero is.
Yeah, pretty much where you see the cursor from this point, if you're able to see it, from this point to this point, this is the school district plat. And so this segment is the one getting developed pretty much
Zoom
up
in a
here.
little bit, just so that people can see better.
Yeah, so pretty much from this point to this point.
Yeah, that's, Vaquero right there, right?
Correct. And then the gap that I'm speaking about would be pretty much the edge of that plat, and this would be the boundary from La Aquero and Golondrinas.
And
So
where's
technically, right
Riverbank?
now, you're looking at about a 1,200-foot gap that needs to be, they come together for this roadway. Now, the construction of this roadway is, in your opinion as an engineer, there's 1,200 linear feet plus whatever footage is on the property where you wanted to come out, which is La Bota Parkway, right? You want to bring that all the way down?
That's
And then connect it back down to whatever that street would be called, Riverbank, Aquero, whatever it would be called. So your development would then, you would be looking at doing some payment to get this traffic out, or what is your thinking, or what?
Pretty much, we are trying to coordinate just with, as I said, with different representatives, the different developers, like that we can try to get a pretty much contribution from different members and try to help out for that section, because not only is it for Los Golondrinas, once you see the bigger picture, there's pretty much this road, would in theory extend pretty much far to this west end. Those are different master plans. I wouldn't be able to dictate, the pattern itself, but pretty much the intent is to follow this west route.
Yeah, no, because I mean, the whole idea is to be able to have another route for this
Great.
240 lots that are gonna be created to be able to access this property without having to use a mined road. And that's really what this commission is trying to get at. And we're trying to make sure that we can get this thing done to where it doesn't create additional burdens. I mean, the only thing I see is that if there is no other entrance and exit, and if you look at it from a marketing point of view, it's gonna be hard
To sell.
to sell. Because the traffic over there is, peak periods is pretty bad. So that's why, I'm asking, and I guess this commission has got the same questions that we're trying to figure out, how do we come to a situation or a solution to where the development is gonna be able to have this roadway out?
Right now, I think La Bota has a lot of issues regarding that same problem, that is traffic. There's only one way in and one way out, that's Mines Road. I know that in this year that I've been here, there is a warehouse that is stuck there. There's another development, I think, that is stuck in the one-stop shop with safety concerns, right? Because of the right-way. And the main issue is we don't have an extra way out. There's been several, how do you say, ¿cómo se dice? Se me fue la palabra. Attempts to make Riverbank all the way up. And I know the RMA and the MPO, okay, are making, invirtieron en un estudio, okay, para que efectivamente se pueda hacer una salida que beneficie a todas la comunidad de residencias, ok. Yo no tengo inconveniente de que hagan todas las propiedades, ¿verdad? Pero si ya sabemos que existe este problema, se va a hacer el problema más grande. Ahora, añádale eso a que las carreteras no son de la ciudad. No, ese es el problema más grande que veo también, que no es de la ciudad, que es del Homeowners Association, y ahorita no hay un comité del Homeowners Association.
Well, actually, the roads belong to the Mullers.
Ah, bueno,
They belong to the Mullers.
to the Mullers.
So I'm not sure, I'm assuming that the sale was with access to their road. That I'm gonna make that assumption. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, there's, just generally speaking, the property that we have there is some access easement.
Because you can't be landlocked. You know,
Correct.
obviously, you gotta have access.
That easement is actually currently does exist, and it goes to the undeveloped area to the south, and then also, well, to La
All
Vuelta
right,
existing.
put the map up and show us what you're talking about, please.
Pretty much, just on paper, there is an easement, it pretty much follows, pretty much this main road, more or less. And so, but that easement is for the track itself.
And
And so-
what
Okay,
is
so that
road?
easement is on the track itself right now?
Yes, pretty much it allows an exit to the south on the Aquero end.
Okay.
And it does, and to the north.
So there is, and how wide is the easement?
My apologies, I don't remember the exact width, but it could probably be 20 feet, give or take.
It's a utility easement?
No, an
It's a-
access easement.
It's a 20-foot ranch access easement.
Pero va a ser,
That's.
es como un terreno, como un
but-
terreno.
No, but I mean, your intent is on that 20-foot easement is to build a street. Is that correct?
That is correct.
To city standards?
Yes, that's correct.
So it would be a minimum on, what are you guys asking for? It's not gonna, it's collector probably.
Yeah, it is.
It's gotta be a collector, so the right of way on a collector is
90 foot.
90 foot. So it would be a 90 foot with a 55 back to back, something like that?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's the intent
Okay.
on this
Okay.
master plan.
Okay. But again, we go back to the same issue, but Commissioner Dominguez,
I'm gonna make a comment, and I feel that he's here for a zone change.
And we're talking.
Now, by providing the zone change, we're actually gaining for the community because that would be an R1. Secondly, we're gonna give him the responsibility to comply with all the entrances and the exits. So even though we're looking at a plat that is unrealistic right now, because they can do changes once they have their R1, they can do the changes, but they still have to comply with the requirements. Now, we're
Required.
gaining with an R1
Okay.
instead of getting an R1B or an R1A, which will create a high-density area. So what we have before us is not so bad, because it's a zone change only. We're not affecting the community. Actually, we're affecting the developer, because he has to comply with everything. That was my comment, Mr. Chair.
thank you. Commissioner Narvaez.
What I was gonna say was in the same lines as Commissioner Dominguez, is at this point, the developer has gone from an R1A down to an R1, which is lesser density. And we're here also looking at the zone change. And then once the zone change, gets recommended and if it's approved by council, at that point, he has to provide the plat for the preliminary, and then that's where staff comes in and there's traffic impact analysis and all that stuff goes into consideration. So at that point, I also feel we should look at the zone change itself, which what they're asking for is not outside of the ordinary, which
I
is
agree.
for the intense use.
Okay.
So that's my comment as well.
Anybody else?
I think as long as we trust staff that they're gonna make the people in both unplatted tracks comply with the public improvements necessary to alleviate the traffic off of Mines Road, that I'm okay with the deal.
Okay. All right, thank you, Victor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of the zone change, in favor of the zone change? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change, against the zone change?
For the record, my name is Guillermo Castro Jr. I live in La Bota. It seemed like a broken record coming here before you guys, but I have some good news, and you probably heard, we won our case against the unscrupulous developer. I would like to hope that you would table this idea, because there's a new, actually, the Mullers are no longer in control of the HOA. There should be an interim board, hopefully soon, because their development, we don't know what's gonna happen. You all said something right, good about it, about the River Road. And I think that is a river road to save lives. You put us in danger every day because of the heavy traffic. I'm not against the development. We all are good for development. But I think their legacy should be, we build dreams and we build American homes. And that's the American dream. That was the fight that Mr. Zone defended us, to protect the American dream. We had 12 jurors that had the courage to stand up and saw our fight and voted for us. I asked you to stand up, not to table it until a new board comes in. That could be 30 days, I don't know. But then we can have a voice, because they're gonna use our roads. They're gonna impede our lives, our children's lives. I ask you, put yourself in my position. What would you respect? What you to do today? Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. Anybody else who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? Okay. What are the wishes of the commission?
I move in favor of support, staff support to approve
The zone change.
the zone change.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Narvaez.
Narvaez seconds it. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Okay. All right, we have one against. All right, motion carries. Next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 27.45 acres designated as tract 1. This property is located west of Cuatro Vientos Road. I'm sorry, it's located north of Las Lomas del Sur Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Cuatro Vientos South, limited owner, and we have Ricardo Vieira, representative. Property location approximately 27.45 acres, located north of Lomas del Sur Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road. We have a zone change from an R1 to B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letters sent to 63, we have none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Manuel Escamilla, for the record, here to speak in favor and represent the applicant. Here really to answer any questions, and for point of order, the next 6 items for Cuatro Vientos South, I'm here for those as well, in case we avoid the awkward up and down for the next 6 items.
Okay. Does anybody in the commission have any questions for Mr. Escamilla?
Yeah, I do. As far as the commercial stuff, this is pretty much all off Cuatro Vientos.
Yes, yes, sir. We have approximately 2,000 plus feet of frontage along the highway.
And I don't know if this is the site that was or near one of the schools, but I know for the most part, developments in this area are going to be more like nothing like bars or anything like that.
The traffic lends itself to more retail,
Right.
bigger box, medium box type of.
Exactly. Box retail type.
Box retail, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If I may, real quick
Yes, sir.
question. One of the biggest concerns that we have is that when we have a B4, that it's a mutant with the R1, we expose the community to to the noise and whatever it might create, as Commissioner Barron mentioned. Now, being a B4, once we agree to the B4, whatever developer builds, it's in compliance at the B4. But, Mr. Chairman, I want to make sure that we have the distance, which is, it will be like a buffer in between the commercial and the residential. Even though we have other areas in Laredo that have a B4 right next to a residential, that doesn't mean that it's correct. It means only that it burdens the community with all the noise and all the traffic. Would it be appropriate to approve it with a larger buffer, Mr. Chairman?
I believe under a zoning case, we cannot. That would be coming under a plat.
Okay.
Only under a plat could you do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my comment then.
These are all zone changes on unplatted property.
Yes, sir.
All 6 of them?
So I
Yes.
guess it's in your eyes before he gets here again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
It's in your eyes. It's in your ballpark.
Oh, well, for the zoning, yes.
No,
plat.
for the plat.
Oh, for the plat?
For the
When it
plat.
comes into plat, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Escamilla.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else wish to speak in favor of the zone change?
Is,
In favor?
is that structure in the back of the property, is that the new school that's being built?
The structure,
Oh, you need to put it up,
I think it's this one. I think it's under construction, is that
you
right?
missed it, go up.
Sorry.
that school is existing.
Done.
Huh?
That school is existing.
Which one is it?
Existing?
Huh?
Salinas?
It's Salinas. It's Salinas.
What's on the other side of Wormser?
Right now, it's undeveloped,
Undeveloped?
vacant.
And
Undeveloped.
what is that ordinance that shows on the zoning map? There's like 2 ordinances on those properties.
It
Does
says
staff know?
2050239 and 21701, or I-28, no?
128, yeah.
128.
I'm sorry, we don't have that with us.
Is the land in a slope?
Yes, sir. The highway is high.
So you're gonna backfill in order to build whatever you're gonna build there?
If we want to keep any semblance of visibility, yes, sir.
So in the requirement for the plating, you're gonna require some sort of detention for water?
I'm sorry, say again.
That is correct, sir. Whatever the requirements are under subdivision ordinance,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, whatever the subdivision.
I'm good.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Escamilla. Anybody else wish to speak in favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change? Anybody wish to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I move to amend the zoning ordinance in favor of staff support.
Support staff.
Second, Duvalina.
Duvalina seconds it. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion carries. Next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 13.94 acres. And this property is located south of Wormser Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Te cruza la calle. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Cuatro Vientos South Limited owner, and we have Ricardo Villarreal representative. Property location, approximately 13.94 acres, located south of Wormser Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road. We have a zone change from R1 to B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent is 14, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Okay, thank you very much. Public hearing again. Anybody wish to speak in favor? In favor. wishes to speak in favor? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see a strip of land in front, in between the road and the property. Is that is that a public right of way, or who owns that property?
So to the west is the highway, and to the south is Lomas del Sur.
Okay.
So that strip of land that you're talking about is it right away?
Hold on, we're trying to put it up.
I mean, we've got it on here on the presentation.
Here you go.
Ahí.
There.
There, you see that strip? So that's,
So we're talking to the west?
yeah.
Oh, to the east?
No. From the property that you're bringing in for zone change to the west.
To the west is the highway.
Yeah, but there's a strip of land in between the property and,
That's just the extra space for the right
is
of way.
that public right away?
Yes, sir.
That's what the question was.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I asked several months ago when Lomas del Sur was gonna be open, and you assured me that it would happen soon. I go by there every Saturday, and to this date, the road's not open.
Still,
Is there a reason?
I would have to check. I don't know.
Let's
I don't
ask our
have that
traffic
information.
engineer.
Ahí está Mr. Traffic Engineer.
There you go.
Good evening, Robert Peña, Traffic Safety. So there's a lot of complications with the intersection of Lomas del Sur and Cuatro Vientos. At grade, there was an attempt to install a traffic signal there.
You're
But
kidding.
it has a limited sight distance, among other issues. It does not have a left turn lane, so TxDOT decided to close and treat every intersection the same way. So what's gonna happen here is, the next thing that happens will be the overpass, and a whole lot more work has to be done.
So TxDOT built a road with intersections, and because of being unable to handle the traffic, their solution is to close the intersections?
That happened many years ago, yes, sir. So each roadway is functioning, this roadway of Cuatro Vientos is functioning as a super street. So you make a right turn, you go down to the next intersection, you turn around, you come back.
I know the drill.
Yeah, so each one is being treated the same way. And they're managing the operations of this roadway.
So are they gonna put the traffic light?
We're working on the overpass in association with the sports complex that's coming in.
And the overpass would be at Lomas del Sur?
No, en Cuatro Vientos.
Well, yes, the overpass is on Cuatro Vientos, crossing over Lomas.
Yeah.
And at that time,
And that currently isn't funded,
no, sir.
and you probably won't see it funded for 3 or 4 more years.
I'm not, no.
And the
not-
traffic gets heavier by the minute.
Well, I think the city understands how important that overpass is and that intersection as it relates to the sports complex.
I don't remember the city putting it in their capital plan, and I've yet to see the capital plan, so I don't think there's any intention to put it there. So at this point, you rest on the assurances of TxDOT that they're gonna do the right thing, and you wonder if it's the right thing.
Well, I can't speak for TxDOT.
I know.
I know we're very familiar with the operation at this location.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I'm gonna get it right this time. I move to accept staff recommendation to approve the zone change.
We have a motion and we have a second by Daniela. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against? Motion carries. The next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 7.98 acres. This is located east of Lomas del Sur Boulevard and Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Cuatro Vientos South Limited owner, and we have Ricardo Vieira representative. Property location, approximately 7.98 acres, located east of Lomas del Sur Boulevard and Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone change request from an R1 to a B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent to 7, none for, none against. Location view, aerial view, street view, zoning map, future land use map, and the recommendation is staff supports, and the proposed motion.
Thank you. There's a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change? Anybody wish to speak in favor of the zone change? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to close the public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second?
Second.
Second. Daniela? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? None heard, motion carries. Next item. Amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 16.47 acres. This is located north of Pita Mangana Road and west of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Cuatro Vientos South Limited owner. Applicant, owner and applicant, we have Ricardo Vieira representative. Property location, approximately 16.47 acres, located north of Pita Mangana Road and west of Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone change request from an R1 to B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent is 39, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports
So,
and the
Robert,
proposed motion.
what are we gonna do at this intersection? Close it as well forever? I'm not picking on you, I'm just curious.
Sure, the same answer. Robert Pena, Traffic Safety. Which intersection are we talking, oh?
Pita Mangana
no,
Road, you're
it's-
gonna put a commercial
There's no
development.
news of improvement for that. It's gonna stay closed until something significant happens out there. And again, I imagine it's going to happen the same way we're getting overpasses along, I-69, Bob Bullock. So, I don't have any news.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change? Anybody wish to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? What are the wishes of the commission?
I do have a question. I do have a
Sorry,
question
go
for the applicant. I know this,
All right.
this property also now abuts the new Molina Middle School, towards the back, but I also understand why the B4 off of Loop 20 and I'm sure big box developments, it's easier for them to entice, for them to be able to set up, with a B4 rather than another type of zone.
That's correct, Commissioner. One point specifically about the middle school is the topography in that area the relief is very large. At this point of the highway, the middle school is probably to the order of 40 feet lower than the highway. So that the horizontal proximity is there, vertically they are at a whole other level once we get back down into that area. So they would have even less impact on noise, you know, access is virtually impossible because of that elevation difference.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a concern because I don't see how blocking the intersections, I mean, other than it saves lives, that it's the ultimate solution to this problem. You build a 4-lane highway and then you proceed to block off access to it. And then you wait for 6 or 7 years after you build it to figure out a solution. And I think at some point in time, we need to have a meeting with TxDOT and see what they're gonna do. I mean, we're approving developments depending on what they're gonna do, and they're doing nothing.
And the necessary exits.
And that's the main, going back or anything, is that we do want the developments to come in, but if we don't have the exits and the proper way in or out, it becomes a burden. Like, we've had it in Killam, we have it in Nahota, we have it in all
I think
subdivisions.
you've got it throughout Laredo right now.
Yes,
One of
throughout
our biggest
Laredo.
problems in Laredo right now is mobility.
Mobility.
And it needs to be addressed. I realize these are state highways. We do need for the planning commission, whether it's you guys or the MPO or somebody, to get together with the state and figure out practical solutions, like Commissioner Lovalina is saying, to areas that have already been paved. And that we need.
And the ones that
something.
haven't been paid too.
A quick comment, Mr. Chairman. I think it's time that Mr. Chairman actually appoints members of this committee to force or to create a plan, because you're correct, we're approving a bunch of would-be development, but we don't have the access. They come to us for the zone change, we approve it because we don't have a choice. I mean, the requirement and their applications are in order, but we don't have the infrastructure. So I guess that if 2 or 3 members of this committee will start pushing, getting together with TxDOT, like Commissioner Lovalina was saying, where's the funding?
I think what we're gonna do is let me talk to the planning director.
Yes, sir.
To see if he can set up a presentation.
And
Just
also,
like
I think
TxDOT to us here.
include council, because at the end, we're not really approving development. We're recommending a zone change, and city council approves this, so they have the power to, you know, either approve it or not and have more voice in making this decision.
Yeah, but I think it's important that as a commission, we are approving zone changes for development.
We're recommending.
And I think at this point, we need answers from TxDOT so that whenever, you know, either plats or zone changes come into play, that we have a better understanding as to what is their long-term goal as to how we're gonna address mobility into their roadways.
Yeah, but council should also be involved, I think.
Well, there's no question about it, but it starts here.
Yeah.
At the planning commission level.
And then
And then from there, whatever this commission, we make a recommendation back up to city council. Okay?
Yeah, but they need to be aware now, because they're seeing all these projects come to their table, and if there is this disconnect between what they're approving and this underlying issues that we're raising, they're just gonna approve it at the end of the
Well,
day.
and I agree, I mean, but that is the job of the planning director, okay? He is the one that needs to advise the council that this commission is questioning and asking for answers so that he can inform the city council. That's the role of the planning director. Now, there are disconnects right now in city staff, unfortunately, either because of lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of how the systems come together. Planning is one of the ones that has a lot of different functions, MPO for one. And so there's different mechanics within the whole planning organization that have to really communicate
Together,
with each one of the different entities to make sure that whatever comes to us, when the questions are answered here, or asked here, that there are answers. Some kind of answers that are reasonable, not pie in the sky, well, I don't know.
Yeah, like
And-
I
nobody
mean, the
knows.
I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, that doesn't work. You know, we need to figure out, okay, we've got a paved section into a roadway, but yet, no, you can't use it. Somewhere, somehow, somebody screwed up.
In
And
your-
either because there was funds available and we had to use them, but now they're saying, well, and I think it all goes back to when a couple of these were opened up, there was some accidents and people killed, and TxDOT shied back. And they said, you know what, because of the accidents, they held back.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to revisit this. You're gonna have accidents irregardless.
And it's
I
timely
mean, it's
now,
just nothing
yeah.
that can prevent them, unfortunately.
Laredo is growing, and we need to address this right now, because then it comes to council, and whatever we approve here, in between the council, well then, why do you don't want, you disagree, or you recommend if staff supports it, the commission supports it, so everything has, like,
It's
its way.
double approval. yeah.
It's double approval, but it's not
But-
like that.
But it's very easy. If planning department don't bring it before us because there's no infrastructure in order to comply, we don't have to deal with it.
Well, I don't think that's not the way it works. The applicant has the right to apply. They're not gonna check for compliance, because you're zoning.
And we
So-
only make a recommendation on it. I mean,
On
it's up to
zoning,
city council.
on zoning.
What we need to do is work together. We need to work together with the
Raise
MPO
the issue to.
and raise
I
the
think-
issue.
I think right now
so
what we
we
need
can
is
do
really,
something
if we could
about it.
get, and I'm gonna ask y'all please to invite the district engineer from TxDOT to come before the commission and make a presentation on future development, these existing roadways and what their plans are to get them connected, because this young man here is bringing in lots of property for development. And these are either big box or a lot of generation of traffic that need answers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yes, you can do write-ins and write-outs, but somehow you gotta be able to figure out how am I gonna get around back into the neighborhood? Because that's really what this whole thing's about, it's, you know,
And what we're,
circulation.
what we're approving right now, Mr. Chairman, is gonna create chaos there.
It's circulation, really, because, I mean,
In anywhere,
it already
in all
has.
these, how do you say? What does he say?
When you start moving in the
Intersection-
buses and
intersection.
those things.
It's all
from
circulation.
Residences, it's gonna get worse.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we maybe formulate a subcommittee, or post it on, or add it as an agenda item for our next meeting to specifically discuss, these issues. And then, I know there's a lot of zone cases and a lot of things going on.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying,
And I think if we set
what I
aside
wanna-
an agenda item for it, I think it'd be great to do
that's
at the next
why
meeting.
I wanna invite the district engineer from
Absolutely.
TxDOT
Yeah.
before this commission, that way we can have that kind of
And then we
discussion.
can create a
as an
subcommittee,
item.
and we can meet this, on this item
Then
on
we
its
can
own.
go ahead and create a subcommittee once that engineer comes in.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. All right. Anybody else who wishes to speak against this item, against the zone change? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
A motion to close the public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion, and we have a second from Daniela. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. Next item, any zoning ordinance of the city of
Before
Red
they
by
start,
rezoning?
Madam Chairman, I'm sorry. Can I be excused? I just received a call and I need to leave.
Yes, sir. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, before we move on, and we will certainly reach out to TxDOT and we feel very similarly to the commission and really understand your concerns and have taken note of them. And I just wanted to make sure that the commission understands that, you know, the planning department has made certain inroads in increasing our collaboration with our planning partners, especially TxDOT. They do attend weekly or bi-weekly a meeting to review all of these plats with us. So we have, you know, increased that collaboration and communication with them.
And that's great, but we just now need answers from TxDOT as to when they plan to implement some of these projects that are already on the ground. Get them going.
Absolutely, and we'll make sure to get that invite out to them.
Thank you. All right, We now have the next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 32.69 acres. This property is located north of Pita Mangana Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Cuatro Vientos Road South Limited owner. We have Ricardo Villarreal representative. Property location, approximately 32.69 acres, located north of Pita Mangana Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone change request from an R1 and AG to B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent to 7, none for, none against. Location view,
It's all in.
aerial view, street view,
You can see the traffic increasing.
zoning map, future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor? In favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change? Anybody wish to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I move to approve the Walina.
Second.
Lovelina moves, second by Daniela.
No,
Or Ana.
Villarreal.
Ana, I'm sorry. Ana, Villarreal. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, motion carries. The next item, amending zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 16.05 acres. This property is located north of Pita Mangana Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Cuatro Vientos Road South Limited. Owner, we have Ricardo Vieira, representative. Property location, approximately 16.05 acres, located north of Pita Mangana Road and east of Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone change request, R1 and AG to B4. Proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent is 9, 9, 4, and 0, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. It's a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing and support staff recommendation for the zone
Second.
change.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. Next item. Amending zoning ordinance to city by rezoning approximately 3.44 acres of land. This is located, east of Bob Bullock Loop and west of Grande Bay Drive from R1A to R1B.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant QRS Ventures, Inc., and we have Edward Beckelheimer, the third owner. We have Trava Consulting LLC and Oscar Castillo, representative. Property location, approximately 3.44 acres located east of Babulak Loop and west of Grande Bay Drive. Zone change request, R1A to R1B. Proposed use is residential. Letters sent, we have 31. Inside the 200 feet notice, we have none for and 10 against. Outside the 200 feet notice, we have none for and 8 against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor? In favor.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman, staff. Oscar Castillo, representing the owner and Trava Consulting. we're here for this zone change, and just wanted to give a brief description of what are we asking. This is the last part of our master plan, the loop master plan. I don't know if I can put it here so that you can see it. We're trying to say, like there's some waters of the U.S. on this channel. So because of that, we couldn't build anything on the other side of the street. So in order to try to have at least a few more lots, we changed that part to R1B. We didn't get to what we used to have, but at least, and just for the record, R1A is 4,500 square feet, which is what it's actually right now. Most of these lots are close to the 4,000. It's just that the frontage is 35. And as per the R1B, they would require 1 enclosed and 2 outside. Plus they have all the other side, but we're for this change. Like I said, this is the last phase of the plat, so there are not going to be any others. And I'm here to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions on the commission?
Where's the access gonna be to this area?
Currently, there's 2 access.
Yes.
There's one through proposed Sina Drive, or currently they're proposed to Sina, and then Alec. Once the expansion of TxDOT, the Ariana Drive will connect directly, and you can see there to the frontage of the expand.
Where's that Ariana Drive?
Arena. It's Arena.
Ariana, yeah, Ariana.
It's up on top.
And then on the other side,
Off on the other side of the loop?
Yes.
Oh, so it'll be off the loop.
It'll be outside the loop, yes.
And then, do you know how many lots fit in the B1 that you all are looking at?
It is 27, so there are not going to be more. And there used to be, I think, 30, on the other one, 30 something, I don't remember exactly, but there were more. Obviously, there was two-sided street. Okay. On this case, like I said, we cannot do anything on the other side, so it is only that side, and it is the last phase.
Have you spoken to Texas?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, like
And
those.
they're gonna break the median to let you cross?
No, that we're gonna connect to the. It's gonna be right in, right out.
To the existing driveway?
To the, I mean,
There is no driveway.
once the expansion gets there, then we will connect to the. There's gonna be an overpass, and that's so we're gonna just connect to the frontage road. To the. I mean, and you can see here. This is future. This is the future.
Lucina, I guess, drive around.
Yeah, and there's gonna be, that's when the expansion of Bob Bullock is gonna happen. But that's gonna be, it's gonna connect eventually to the frontage road of Loop 20.
To the frontage.
Can you put the one that we have, the aerial view that we have? It's right, like, the aerial view is the way it's right now.
Yes.
In the future, it connects us at 3, 4, 5, 7 years, yeah?
Do you know if you were, currently it's an R1A, correct?
Excuse me?
The current zone is an R1A.
Yes.
How many lots would fit right now under its current zoning?
If we were to use, 35, or probably like 25% less on that side.
Yeah. So that's 25% less if you were to stay with R1A.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Which just also, the master plan has been approved. We talk about this as the master plan. We
Yeah.
also talk about.
This is something we had discussed when we brought the
Yes.
master plan in, because of the drainage and the creek and everything else.
That is correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor? In favor. Anybody who wishes to speak against? Against. All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
About the against. I saw that they sent not in favor, right?
Yes.
And those letters, what happens to those letters?
They're in our files.
They're in your file.
Yes.
Why are they against?
Why?
most of them, they were concerned about multifamily. That was one of the big concerns, is that they were worried that multifamily would go in there. And the R1B does not allow for multifamily. It's strictly single-family detached.
Oh, okay. Because I saw also with the one in La Bota, they also had a lot of letters against. and
Those
you don't
letters
show them.
were, and I read a good portion of them, were mostly concerned about traffic.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. So what are the wishes of the commission?
A motion to close public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Lovelina. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. Next item, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 22.31 acre tract of land. This is located east of Cuatro Vientos Road and west of Trent Drive from R1 to R1B.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant L91 Properties LLC, Edward Buckelhammer III, owner. We have the consulting Aura Castillo representative. Property location, approximately 22.31 acres, located east of Cuatro Vientos Road and west of Trent Drive. Zone change request from an R1 to an R1B. Proposed use is residential. Letter sent is 51. We have none for, none against. Excuse me. Location view,
On this one.
aerial view, street view, zoning map, future land use map, and the recommendation is staff supports, and the proposed motion.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of the zone change?
Good evening, Oscar Castillo for the record. We are here representing L91BC Properties and Pewa Consulting, and we're for the zone change and here to answer any questions.
Anybody on the commission have any questions? No? Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Anybody else wish to speak in favor of the zone change? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? Against the zone change? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
We're gonna have a lot of traffic on that road.
Accept staff recommendation.
All right. Do we have a second? We have a second from Ana Villarreal. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion carries. All right, the next item is amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 21.79 acres. From this property is located east of US Highway 83 and south of Bizian Boulevard from R1 to B1, from R1, B1, and B3 to R1MH.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Cayetano Development LLC owner, Compass Performance representative. Property location approximately 21.79 acres, located east of US Highway 83 and south of Obsidian Boulevard. Zone change request R1, B1, and B3 to R1MH. Proposed use is residential. Letter sent is 9, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
All right, this is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of the zone change? In favor of the zone change?
Mr. Chairperson, Chairman, sorry, members of the commission, staff. My name's Jay Quigg. I'm with Compass Real Estate Investments, and I'm the fee developer and representative for Cayetano Development. And we support the recommendation by staff, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay. Anybody in the commission have any questions for Mr. Puig? No. Thank you, Mr. Puig. This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor? In favor? Anybody who wishes to speak against the zone change? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
Is this the Moore Ranch?
Excuse me?
Is this the property that was owned by Joe Moore?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Motion to close public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, motion carries. All right, next item is consideration of the model subdivision rule compliance of the plat of Los Presidentes East. Subdivision Phase 2, the intent is residential. The staff is recommending approval. Can we have a motion to that effect?
So move.
Okay, Dovalina motioned, I guess, and
Second
Commissioner Narvaez, second. Dovalina beat him by a hair. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against, motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
We have a motion and we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you all very much.